What's up, people? Toadslayer72 here, and today I'm going to be talking to you about this stuff right here. UV Not Sense by Loon. Before I get into this, there's a couple things I want to say. First of all, this is going to be a long video, probably my longest by far. I just got too much to say about this product. Aside from the reason I got it and my initial use, my main use for it, I discovered a couple other uses for it, and one of them I'm really excited to share with you. Something I discovered on my own. It's a weird thing to think that you're the only person in the world doing something, so I'm not going to go out and say that. But I was not influenced by anyone else on this one idea that I had for this stuff to use, and it's actually pretty cool. And aside from that, I got some information from a Loon rep about some other uses for it, and it's pretty cool too. So I'm going to do two separate videos discussing those two topics, and that's down the road. Next one is going to be the one that my idea, or I'm calling it my idea, but and then last would be the information I got from the Loon rep. But in this video, I'm going to be doing a demonstration. I already shot the footage for that a while ago, and I'm just going to do a little bit of this about this stuff, a little gushing about it, because this is a really cool product. Now, another thing, because this is going to be a long video, if you're not down for, enduring a long video, I get it, and that's fine. But there is some important information you need to know about using this product, some technical stuff that, it's kind of important. So I'll put that information in the description, and you can bail now. And I get it, and peace. Thanks for watching. So, now if you're still with me, thank you, and let's get into this. So Loon is a fly fishing, company. They handle fly fishing products, accessories, and you may not be familiar with this because of that, unless you're a fly fisherman. I'm assuming the majority of my viewers are probably bass fishermen, or a good amount of them are, and I'm not familiar with another product like this that's been targeted and marketed for bass fishermen. So you might not be familiar with it because you just don't see it in the normal circles you run in where you shop, whether it be online or locally. So if you're trying to source this stuff, you want to either go to Loon direct or actually I don't even know if you can order from them direct. I'm guessing you can, but if not, you can find dealers that are local to you, or obviously when you're shopping online, you have the world at your fingertips. You can get just about anything anywhere. But if you want to support your local spots, look at a place that handles fly fishing, goods. So, or even just a place that has a robust fly fishing section. So, as I mentioned earlier, or maybe I didn't in this take, what I was saying is I don't know what the ingredients are in this stuff. I'm not on that level of nerding out. You could call Loon up yourself and find that stuff out, their numbers on their website. I called them up and found out a certain level of information. I spoke with one of their reps, and they were really good about getting back to me and things like that. So if you wanted to nerd out Heisenberg on this stuff and break out the periodic table of elements on this, then you can. But I don't know if it's like a resin or what it is, but I know how to use it, and that's all I care about. What you got here is like this, real viscous type of liquid here, and it stays like that until you cure it with a UV light source. Now that could either be outside in the sun, and if you are working with it outside in the sun, definitely shield it. Put your back to the sun and cover this stuff up, because it will cure pretty quickly. Now, I very rarely do that. The majority of my work with this stuff is done indoors, my prep work, and if you're going to be doing that, well, regardless, you're going to need one of these. Maybe not this particularly fruity looking one, but you have options, and this is where the technical stuff comes into play here. That's what cures it, the UV light. This stuff is nice to work with because you can take your time with it. You can do whatever you want with it, manipulate it however you want, and then cure it with the light. And so it's nice like that. But the light, there's something you need to keep, mindful of when you're shopping for a light, and that is the nanometer rating. You know, the UV light, I guess, is measured in nanometers or wavelengths, and you know, you'll see that value, you know, on the specs of a light. If you're looking for a black light or UV light, they should list that nanometer value, and that, you know, for knot sense specifically, you need to stay within a range between 395 and 410. It'll say NM for nanometers. Now, that comes straight from Loon. You know, so, and Loon does sell a light, and it's a nice looking light, I gotta say that. You know, I looked at it on their website recently, and I gotta say it's pretty hot looking. We all know how important that is, right? But if not, you know, I got that light cheap. Well, I'm not a cheapskate type of dude, but it's all I could find locally, and I was kind of in a rush to get it. I've had it for a couple of years. It works fine. It's just a cheap Rayovac, and so I'm just going to keep rocking with that until I get that badass looking light. But for now, that's it. And you shopping online, you know, you have options, but just pay attention to the nanometer rating, because that comes straight from Loon. 395 to 410 is what you need, and that's for proper curing of this product. Now, another thing, there's a correlation between curing properly or cure times and power. You know, you need to keep your batteries fresh. If you're working with this stuff, you'll see as the batteries deteriorate, you know, it'll affect the cure times, and you know, it stays tacky, and you know, it just doesn't do the right thing. So if you're working with this stuff and it gets a little funky, keep that in mind. Definitely swap your batteries out, and you'll see most likely see a difference there. So there's that. Now, I'm trying to think if there was anything else. I mean, that information I just gave you will be in the next segment. I originally had planned a different sequence, and like I said, I shot that a couple months ago. The rest of that tape came out the way I wanted it to, so I'm just going to leave that in there. So I'm apologizing now for the redundancy. Let's see. I guess that's about it. You know, I use this stuff because I don't like the clacking going through my guides. The FG knot, that's my knot. I use it with 80-pound samurai braid, 20-pound CXX copolymer leader, and that's it. That's my system. I use that on the majority of my swim bait fishing, you know, and that's it. So I don't know how, you know, if there's nuance to using it with different types of setups and different lines and different, you know, materials and different knots and all that other stuff. I can't imagine it would be too much different. It's just a really cool thing. It puts a nice coating on your knot, and I like it particularly because I don't like the banging and the clacking going through the guides. It's not a real problem with the FG knot on the payout when you're casting, but bringing it back in, because the way that knot finishes, it's different than the back side of the knot's different than the front side. But what you can do with this, you put a coating on it and you can create these nice tapers. So you have a nice transition going from your main lines, whether it be your leader or your main line, into the knot. You know, instead of like any type of like quick, you know, abrupt finishes. So and the Alberto knot, that's why I moved away from it, because of that. I wanted something thinner. With the lines I was using, I just didn't like how it did. It's just a pet peeve of mine. I just don't like the idea of that that clacking and that jarring on the guides and the knot itself. It's just, it probably doesn't matter. And I don't think it's about like casting distance gains or anything. I mean, there may be, but it's probably negligible. You know, I mean, it's not even like that for me. It's just to satisfy my, you know, my need to get rid of that. You know, I just don't like that. So whatever your reasons are, if you think it's going to add strength or whatever you want to do, it's easy to work with. It's pliable when it finishes. You can put it on your spools. You get the light. You get this stuff lasts for quite a while. I tie a lot of leaders every time out. It's a process before I go. Night before, I'm tying leaders, and I put a decent amount of this stuff on my knot, as you'll see. I play with it sometimes probably a little too much, but you know, it lasts a while. Get the light, you get the tube, you'll have it for a while, and you'll see when you're playing with it, when you're using it, you'll see how nice it is. Even if you just want to tidy up your tag ends, you don't have to use it the way I do. You know, I know I'm a little nutty with some of this stuff, I get that. But even if you just want to put a quick little bit on your knot and secure your tag in with it, it's great. It's great for that. Simple. I mean, no matter what, it's better than what you're doing now, in my opinion. So, all right, I'm going to get into the demonstration. Thanks for hanging in there. I appreciate it. I appreciate discussion, comments, whatever. I'm always up for that. And again, thank you for watching and enjoy the demonstration. And aside from that, I'll be coming at you with some other videos. I'm kind of in this creative mode right now, so I want to strike while it's hot. I've got a couple other videos I'm in the process of editing right now, and I got this one going, so be on the lookout for the rest of my UV Not Sense series. Alright guys, take care. Alright guys, I'm going to get right to this. First of all, I apologize for the background noise. I'm here in the bowels of my house, and there's a furnace cycling on and off here, and it's just probably older than me. So, apologize for that noise. So what we got here is a pre-UV Not Sensed FG knot. Now there's just one little thing I like to do preparing for this is with my half hitches there. These half hitches, they kind of have like a way that they can all lay in the same, I guess, orientation, and you can kind of get them so that they're all like flat on one side. And what I mean by that is, this might not show up, but I'll attempt it. You'll see it in hand if you're doing this knot. But if you follow these lines back here, as you get to the back of the knot, it just gets fat here from your half hitches. Now if you rotate this, it all looks like it's the same diameter. You see, and that's because those half hitches are all laying in the same way and they're all like flat. So I just like to do that, get them all in that same orientation, I guess you could call it. And then just a tag end. It's okay if it's a little bushy and nasty. I keep it no longer than probably 1/8 of an inch. There is a too short and a too long for me, the way I work with it, but when you're doing it, you might find different lengths work better. And what I'm trying to do here on the back side is just create a smoother taper. I mean, we always have to do something to tidy up our tag ends here. So even if that's all you want to do, you could just tack this down. And this is what I do anyway. I tack the tag down first, just because I feel like it's easier to manage in steps like this instead of trying to go for it all at once. So what I'm doing is I'm just rotating the knot, and I'm kind of pulling my fingers down like this and doing some rotation on the knot. And you'll, I'm sure, come up with your own system. This is what I found works best for me. So once I get that to where I want it, and that's the nice thing, you can take your time playing with this, getting it how you like it, and then hit it with the light real quick. And now that's secure. And even if I was just doing the tag, I would hit it again just to make it a little more secure, because that will still separate if opposing pressure is applied on it. And then you'll have like this hard thing sticking up, poking out. So that would be a real problem. Well, not a problem, but more of an annoyance. And again, all I'm trying to do is create these smooth tapers on the back side of this knot. There's one knock I have on it a little bit. It's just that it gets a little nasty towards the end of the knot with all those half hitches. So I can fix all that with this knot sense. Now you could be done now if that's all you want to do is take care of your tag end. What I like to do though is do the whole knot. I encase the whole knot with this stuff. First I like to do just a little thin, what I consider like a barrier layer here, and then I do it real quick, cure it. And my philosophy on that is probably just paranoia, and I may be wrong, I probably am, but I can't help it. That's how I am as a trophy hunter. I'm paranoid about a lot of stuff. So the reason I do that little thin layer real quick is because this stuff soaks into your braid, and I don't want it to maybe make my knot slicker, after it probably wouldn't do much because it's locked down, I'm sure, but again, paranoia, man. I'm a little nutty about some of this stuff. So there we go. This is just a thin layer, and I usually just use what's left over from working with that tag. I know I wiped my hands off here. You didn't see that off screen, and then I applied more, but usually you have a little left over from just your tag, and I would do that thin layer with that. So now that that's on there, I go on thicker. What I'm really trying to do here is I just want to fill in all these gaps here, and this viscous like liquid here will do that, and it's nice to work with. So I'll put a little gob of it on, and then I'm just gonna, and again I'm rotating this slowly, and on all this type of stuff you'll probably find your own method to how you want to apply it. And it's nice because it'll level, self-level, it's, you know, because it's a liquid, so once you spread it around a little bit, you give it a second, it kind of fills in, and you know, after it does that, you hit it with the light again. And as far as you want to go with this, that's up to you. You know, you'll do this, it's addicting, or like, you know, it's hard to resist. Keep playing with it and keep playing with it and add more and more until you got this completely smooth, it's like a little little rattle, you know, those worm rattles used to put in worms. It's a smooth little glass thing. You want to make it like that sometimes, but you could be done right there. I'll go a little bit more just to fill in some more of these unevenness, but that's really nice. It's just a nice smooth, and I like to find a balance between creating that smoothness of the knot, getting my tapers nice and slick on both sides. Well, the front side's never really a problem anyway with the FG knot, but on the back here, it's a nice smooth taper. And I don't want to keep building this up too much because then I'm adding just more diameter to the knot. And I know it seems like a contradiction. I said I choose the FG knot because it's the thinnest knot I can find right now, but I am adding some diameter to it. But the trade-off for me is worth it because it's just a smooth thing. You know, this finished knot, it just comes out really nice with this knot sense. And I think most people, if they saw it in hand and felt it going through their guides, they would choose to take these extra steps. You know, and that's it. There's my finished UV knot sense knot, my FG knot, and it's not showing up, you can't see that, but this is a really smooth thing in both directions now. So that's what's up with knot sense. Real quick, in shopping for a light, a UV light, you want to stay within a certain nanometer rating, between 395 and 410. I got that straight from Loon. You can call them yourself, their number's on their website, and find that out. And whatever product you use, whatever UV product you use that does the same thing as this knot sense here, I would research that, because depending on, you know, the ratio of certain materials or whatever ingredients, you might need a different nanometer rating to cure it properly. So I just want to say that now in case you don't watch the end of this video where I planned on originally discussing all that, because that's probably more important. And if you don't make it that far in this video, I understand, because it's going to be a long video, but I want to get that information out there right now. So there you go, guys. I also have a uncoated UV knot, uncoated FG knot here, and you can see the difference. There is an increase in diameter, but I'm telling you, if you feel this in hand and see it, it's just a much nicer experience with this knot sense, in my opinion. So it's worth the extra steps, the extra time it takes to do it. Alright guys, thank you.